Hello everyone and welcome to Moonride. Today the first thing I want to do is give some credit where it's due. As I started doing this work, I started watching YouTube videos, and there were psychics there who I started to become very interested in. And I want to let you know who they are and how much I appreciate their work. There may be others I don't mention. Sorry, I don't have time to watch everybody, and when you're doing this work, you have to resist a lot of that. You can't keep watching other people's videos because they might influence your own work. I want to thank the woman from Truth Warrior Tarot. Love her. Kristen Langston, of course, right? No question about her genius. Linda G, just love her. I met her. Fortunately, she's just as great as you could possibly imagine. Psychic Violetta, who had the generosity to mention me. It was like getting an Academy Award, from the mother of all psychics. I was just completely flattered. Let me just say that. And of course, Lena Rodriguez. I would not be doing this work today if it were not Lena Rodriguez. So there's a fairy godmother, and then there's your real godmother who puts you on her show and makes you well known. I want to point out that all of these people have put other, less well-known psychics like me or channels like me on their videos. And I just find that to be so generous. I look with interest at Milu and Tarot with Whimsy. And I am kind of curious watching them evolve. But I want to point out that all of these people are extremely generous in what they do. They could be spending that time making $250 an hour working as a psychic, and instead they choose to print videos, put out videos for you. I just think that is just so important and so generous of them to notice. And I want them to know, and all people who are working in a spiritual capacity, that I appreciate your work. I'm deeply indebted to you, and I would not be here without your examples and your help. Right? So let's please give credit where it's due. I also want to point something out that's important about what they're doing. If you think for a moment about just the regular media that you've gone to, maybe you've watched some news today, maybe you've been on Facebook, just think for a moment about what media you watched. Now think about, how did you feel afterwards? I don't know about you, but I kind of feel terrible every time I watch the news. It doesn't mean the news is right or wrong. I just feel awful. I feel stressed out. I feel worried. I feel obsessed. I looked at Facebook today, and the only thing that I had to say was to argue with someone. I have to ask myself why I'm spending my time doing this. It's a really difficult problem because at the same time I want to be informed. I also don't want to be obsessed, and I don't want to be controlled by this media. I think that's very, very important for us to notice. Notice that the people that I've just mentioned are taking us a step out of there. They're allowing us to connect with spirit in a way that's a little bit different and not so immediate, not so you have to watch tomorrow or else, you have to watch tomorrow or else. It gives us a little bit more control, and I think they're also all pointing to somebody. They're pointing to something greater, which is your higher consciousness. And they're helping us to know that if they can connect in spirit with this way, you can too. And I truly believe this, right? And you might ask me, Dave, I don't know where to start with that. And I will tell you, I didn't know where to start with it either. One thing that really helps, and I did not mention her, is Esther Hicks. The Power of Positive Thinking really helped me in the beginning. I was very, very, very broke, and it did work. I don't care how you do this or who you watch to help you. The message that she has is that you can change your consciousness. It takes a bit of work, but you really can change your environment. So I did something that I think you can do, and I'm asking you to do this right now. Think of the government you want, right? And write it down. Write exactly what you want. I'm going to tell you what I wrote, but you should write it in your own words, right? This is what I wrote. I'd like a government which is just, treats people equally, and allows people to enjoy the fruits of their own labor, right? Now, just saying that, just putting that in writing, is like an envelope out into the universe. It's like a letter that we're sending There's no way the universe can deliver for us what we want unless we ask for it, right? So try that and see if it works. I would suggest to you that the last election wasn't just people going out and voting against what is a very dangerous regime. It's also people psychically deciding we are going to confront this. We're going to envision something better and something different. We're going to get together, not just physically, but in our spirit, and we're going to choose something else, right? Whenever you feel blue, whenever you feel like this government's going nowhere, come back to what you've written and imagine that it is true. It is happening right now. It's okay if you can forget reality around you for 5 minutes. Take yourself in a time machine and put yourself there in a place where the government really is that place, that it's better and it's fairer and there's justice for everyone and people are treated equally. Let yourself go there for a moment. If nothing else, you're going to feel better today, right? I think something more will happen. I think that collectively we will create a new consciousness, right? So, without any more chatter, I'm just going to ask 2 questions. First one is Man in the Moon, and I'm going to ask, hey, how can I make that happen? How could all of us watching, how can we act politically in the right way, but at the same time not be consumed? Okay. Well, I get an image of a speaker and speaking, and it's actually like a Stalin-like character. It's a fairly disreputable person, and I see a bunch of people talking, or a bunch of people watching, and he's yelling at them with the megaphone, and they're kind of like, meh. To me, the message is, once we stop looking at Trump, once we stop paying attention to him, he'll just disappear. Everything that Trump does, he does to get your attention. It's no surprise that he is the president in this age, because that's exactly what the media does. They'll send the most crazy information just to see if you react. Maybe you react positively or negatively. It doesn't even matter, right? So just turn him down. Dial him down. You don't need to respond to him and his actions and his every crazy action. Those actions are just crazy. They're going to be what they're going to be. The people who are going to change their minds are going to change their mind. The people who are not are not. You can just turn your attention away, and try to turn your attention toward somebody, some politician that is saying things that you do agree with. Maybe it's not a politician, but anyone who sounds like they're reasonable, who's making good points, who isn't attacking. If that person looks anything like Donald Trump, they sound anything like Donald Trump, don't listen to them. And I don't care where they are on the political spectrum. They start making personal attacks, they start avoiding the answers, they start talking about something that has nothing to do with the question. Just turn away from them. And this should be devoid of party. Don't worry about the party, just think about the person. And when you have discussions, think about the positions that those people have. Don't argue about whether somebody is fat or stupid or not American enough or something like that. What are the issues before us? If you can't have that discussion about issues, forget it. That person is not on your wavelength. Okay. So anything else, Spirit? What else could we do today just to be in the right way with media? Limit your time and see it for what it is. Media is a mechanism to make money. They'll make money by telling the truth. They'll make money by lying. It makes no difference to them. They're just a mechanism to make money. That's many different kinds of media. So, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's not bad making money. It just means that we want to know that we are being manipulated. And it's all manipulation. It's all a distraction. You could spend your time, in a monastery, and all this stuff would pass right over you. You would not know that was happening. This is a possibility. It doesn't mean that you should. It just means that if you were in such a place, what you would focus on is the interactions of the people around you. That's what would happen. Again, you don't need to become a monk, but choose it. Choose to say, I'm going to spend an hour talking with my friends, and I'm going to spend 1 hour playing with my cat. Whatever it could be. Choose the media. Don't let it choose you. Control that media. Don't let it control you. Just by being aware of what's going on, be aware of how it's acting upon you in an interior way. Just like the printing press, it changed everything. The media today has changed everything. The internet's changed everything. Some of the good, some of the bad. There are really good things that are going to come out of the media, and just treat them as gems. But there are exceptions, not the rules. Anything else? Okay, he's just saying that's enough work for today. All right, good. Spirit, what can we tell Americans about the world? I should say. What can we tell the world about what to expect in the next couple of days for Trump and Barr and the Mueller Report? What do we need to know? Ooh, yeah, ooh. I'm getting the picture of that creepy, is it Stephen Miller? Ooh, God, ugh, he just grosses me out. He's like a slithering snake, and I don't want to put down snakes, but he's just creepy. Okay. So, is it the golem who wants the precious? He's like the golem. He wants the precious. He's guarding the precious, right? Ugh, gross. He's going to do some really gross things. And, they're going to upset people a lot. I think that he's going to try to do nasty border stuff. He's going to try. In terms of what we can do, it's great that people go out and peacefully protest. And I want to stress the peacefully protest thing. Be sure to be really peaceful when you go out there and do this. We don't want any movie cameras focusing on us doing anything wrong. That's just going to send the crazies into a frenzy and make it all our fault. That's something that you can do, right? It's better than watching. If it's available to you, it does make a difference that you go out collectively and protest. That's like another letter to the universe. I think that it will bring out some protest, what Stephen Miller is going to do. I think even Kristen, is it Nielsen or Nielsen, whatever her name is, even this was going too far, even for her, right? So we can only imagine not just how cruel and crazy this is, but it's illegal. What he is asking to do is illegal. It's against the law. And in some ways, I think he's going to push us over the edge. He's going to push it to the point where even the Republican Trump-supporting senators are like, you can't do that. It might be one of those things that helps overturn Trump, because that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a wagon being overturned, like a hay wagon, right? And it's funny that it's a hay wagon. I always think of Trump just making so much hay out of nothing. And that's how empty he is. Once they turn that wagon over, there's nothing there. So I think that's next on our priorities list. I want you to experience this as not necessarily a bad thing. If it takes American people to get that angry, okay, good. Finally, we've gotten angry enough that we will go to bat for somebody, even that's not an American. We will go to bat for another human just because they're human and that this is wrong. If that's what it takes Americans to get out of their seats and come together, well, so be it. That's a good thing, right? Understand that we're having these experiences for a reason. It is increasing our consciousness. And if we're fighting something, we are learning also. And if you go to those events, you go to those protests, you meet people like you. You meet friends. You feel better because you're looking at somebody who agrees and they're saying, yeah, you're right. We don't like this behavior. We won't accept it. And you'll just feel so proud that you are part of that in the future when you look at that. Right? Now, it might not be available to you, this kind of protesting. It might not be available to you. That's okay. There are other ways to register your dismay. All right, Spirit, is there anything else that we can know about the next week? Yes, of course, I am curious about the Barr report. Okay, I'm seeing Barr there, and again, I'm seeing his glasses. He always makes me think of, I don't know if you've seen the show Creature Comforts. It's where they have these sort of animated creatures. And one of them is like this owl-looking creature, and it keeps shining its glasses because they keep getting smoked up. He kind of looks like this marsupial creature with big eyes, They keep fogging up. He keeps undoing his glasses, and they fog up again, and then he brushes them off. He's getting a real beating from the Senate. They're really interrogating him. And I'm even getting some Republicans are getting angry, really angry, about how Barr has handled this. One senator in particular from the right, I don't know his name, he's not the loudest Trump supporter, but he is definitely a Trump supporter. He's getting really, really in there with Barr. How could you handle it this way? Yeah, I think one thing that will be interesting is that it seems that the Republicans and Democrats are very upset with Barr and how he's handled this. That seems significant. Barr's getting upset himself. It's funny because he stomps out of the Senate, and then he comes back in and he's showing a picture of Trump. But the picture, like a photograph he's showing of Trump, has a crack in it. He's smashing it on the table. He's taking the picture and he's like, this is it. This is what it really looks like. Deal with that. It's almost like he's saying, now deal with that. How would you deal with that? Yeah, look, I think something went on behind the scenes for Barr. He tried to handle some stuff behind the scenes, and it just didn't work. And finally, he's just fed up, and he's just giving an unvarnished, I should say more unvarnished, version of the truth. This could just be the report, but it has the feeling of something more. I almost think that he's going a little bit further now to show us the truth than he would have if the controversy about his report had not begun. And again, I'm getting the sense that he did do something behind the scenes. He tried to solve it behind the scenes. And he's kind of pointing like, look what I tried to do. And it didn't work. That's that. He's throwing the book down. It's like a law book, and he's turning to these pages, and he's going, there, those were what your duties are. This is your job, not my job. This was my job, that's your job. So stop blaming me, right? Stop making me responsible. And, Barr's leaving with some kind of conclusion. Like he walks out of this, and I mean, it just might be that Barr gives the report. And he doesn't physically show up, but he has some kind of conclusion, like, okay, now that I've done this, I'm ready to do something more. And that thing that he's willing to do seems, I can't tell. I mean, it seems positive, but I don't know what it is. So, Spirit, do we get to know? It might be that he writes a justification for the memo that he wrote, which more fully explains why he did it. I just see him with a memo, which he's taking the paperclip out of, and it's almost like he's reshuffling the papers and he's rewriting it, and he's like looking at it to the point where he like kind of wants to tell the truth. The thing about the memo that I do see, though, that what he's rewritten, it's quite thin. I wonder if he is, like, again, going to try to cover some stuff up and not tell us everything right away and sort of offer us something. Or it might be that he pulled these papers out and there's some important thing that he doesn't tell us, which we're going to learn at a later date. Okay, so look, we're going to learn more when Barr's report comes out, and it will be explosive, but that's not all. It's kind of worse for the administration that this is dribbling out in bits. It's worse for the administration that he kind of let them off the hook, because now they can't go back there. Now they're going to read it, and they're going to go, what? Are you kidding? And then Barr's going to have to go back and like tell them more. And I think Barr's going to tell the Republicans some stuff they don't want to hear, right? And it seems to be upsetting. It actually seems to be upsetting the Republicans even more than the Democrats for some reason. I'm getting Barr with the sword of justice, self-inflicted wound. Okay, Spirit, can we expect justice in the long term for this? I'm just getting, look, this is actually working out in a way that's grander, in a way that we're supposed to acknowledge, in a way that we're supposed to interact with. We should not be passive, act when you can, but ultimately justice does seem to be delivered in the form of a sword. It is delivered to us, right? Just keep aware of how these things are happening and how they're affecting you. But keep in mind that ultimately there is a greater justice. Part of that greater justice might be to bring us forward to get upset about something so that we learn who we really are and actively come together to change things, both in the physical world and in a spiritual place. Okay, and on that note, I am being told that is enough for today. Thanks so much for watching.